Howdy folks, Brother Jim reporting here from End Times Prophecy News. From Gateway Pundit, a crazy story. A trans woman with a beard, pictured here, going under the name Maya Williams, douses another woman in Taco Bell with gasoline and lights her on fire. Remember, this is a transgender woman. Believe it or not. Kindly reminder from Bill de Blasio of New York City. You can be fined up to $250,000 for misidentifying a transgender person. Now, this would have nothing to do with him burning another lady on fire for misgenderizing him. Now, I'm not saying that she did it, but what I'm saying here is that when a crazy animal like New York Mayor Bill de Blasio puts out a law like this, what do you think it does to misfits, she-its, he-she's like this? It makes them go crazy, like they can do whatever and just burn people on fire. Trans woman Maya Williams, balding and with a beard, entered a Taco Bell on Wednesday, doused a woman with gasoline, and then set her on fire. One has to ask yourself, did maybe she misidentify her? Maya Williams, a 32-year-old woman who was born male but identifies as a female, walked into Taco Bell, doused a person with gasoline, and then set them on fire. Wait a minute. I mean, in other words, John Cardillo, this is a born male but a female, but you said the other person is who is a female, you called it a person? Oh, but regular genders don't get that law. Bill de Blasio only stands for the she-it and the he-she's. What a crazy story that one is. Can you believe being burned on fire? Williams ran away and the victim was taken to a hospital by helicopter with serious injuries. As of Friday, the victim was still being treated. Well, guess what, Bill de Blasio? Her burns are on you. You were all at fault for what you did by creating this crazy law to let these animals do crazy crap. I had to fact check you in real time. Ouch. Watch Matt Gaetz destroy Miss NBC hack Hallie Jackson on live conspiracy TV. You see, they can't get any views, so they got to have prize-winning, sharp, intelligent, good-looking Matt Gaetz on the show. But they have to fight him with their narrative. But he crossfires back and forth so fast, it makes her head spin. This wasn't even fair. Miss NBC's hack Hallie Jackson made the mistake of inviting Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican of Florida, on her show to discuss the latest coup attempt by Democrats and their media against President Trump. I'm going to let you listen to it because it goes so fast. It's amazing. Now, I just want you to know that Joy Behar on The View says nobody listens to Matt Gaetz. Well, if nobody listens to Matt Gaetz, how come he's getting more airtime than you, fool? Because people do like listening to Matt Gaetz. And a lot of people are getting woke for doing it.
The rules, but when the Judiciary Committee chairman launches the inquiry, when the Speaker of the House won't adopt rules, then it creates an environment where the Democrats just sort of make it up as they go along. Let's kick some committees out, let some committees in, and it's all because they want to reshuffle the legislative deck because they're humiliated that they lost the Russia investigation unequivocally with the American people. Adam Schiff lied to the American people when he said he had more than circumstantial evidence that President Trump was engaged in a criminal conspiracy with Russia. And so this is a way to take some folks on the Judiciary Committee, like myself, like Andy Biggs, out of the next hand because we were effective at making the case that Democrats were overstating the facts.
You're very clear, Congressman, that you are unhappy with the process, and it should be noted that the
Judiciary he's clear with a lot of things, but it all went over your head, and I know your narrative.
The Judiciary Committee has not actually subpoenaed these witnesses to be deposed, but I want to ask you not about the process, but about the substance of this, Congressman, because I actually haven't heard you say anything since Bill Taylor testified. Yes or no? Is it okay for any politician to trade military aid for political favors?
Look, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the Taylor deposition because I wasn't present for it.
I'm not asking about that. I'm asking you, what is it appropriate in any instance? Would you do that?
To your question was, I want to talk about Bill Taylor's deposition. And so when we don't have the benefit of the cross-examination of the questions asked, I do not believe it would be appropriate for any politician to link military aid to assistance in a future election. No, and I also don't think that's what the president did. I think the president was right to follow up on the work of Bill Barr to try to identify the corrupt origins of the Russia investigation. It was a Ukrainian court that ruled that the Ukraine impermissibly interfered in the U.S. election, and that is a sufficient basis for the president to ask for cooperation with the Attorney General on that matter.
So a couple of things on that, and I'm going to ask my control room to give me a little bit more time with you, because again, I want to make sure we get to foreign policy.
Well, you have to, because nobody listens to you fools. Matt Gaetz puts out truth, and America wants to hear it. That's why you got him on his show. And that's why you gotta have him talk.
But what you are saying is significant, not about the piece about Ukraine in 2016, because that is something that is not a proven theory, but specifically that you say...
It is a court order in the Ukraine.
No, I'm sorry.
You just keep blowing through these things. They're facts, but they're not.
But you got to stay in the realm of facts here. And you just stated a fact, Congressman. I did not mischaracterize you. I want to be very clear. You just said it would not be appropriate for anybody to trade military aid for help in a future political election. Yeah. It appears from the testimony that we have seen reported publicly from the witnesses here
from the selective
that is in fact what President Trump did.
Subject to cross-examination. No, see, like you're playing the game here.
Do you dispute the facts?
You're playing the game where they selectively leak stuff that is not subject to cross-examination, rigorous review, check against documents and timelines. And by the way, when they had to do this in open in the Russia investigation with Mueller,
it's just not fair for her.
With Lewandowski, Democrats look terrible, and now they're trying to do things in secret so we can have interviews like this so that you can cherry pick elements of leaked testimony and then ask me about them when I wasn't in there. You didn't see the testimony, and more importantly, we're unable to see how those statements hold up against cross-examination. So
it's just not fair.
The substantive analysis is very difficult if we are not able to have some standardized due process that is predictable and provides clarity.
Did you get a chance to see Bill Taylor's opening statement that was released? Do you think he made that all up, those 15 pages?
I would love to have the chance to cross-examine Taylor on those claims, or even to observe my colleagues cross-examining Taylor. But this is the new Adam Schiff strategy.
Your colleagues can cross-examine him.
Lie.
Your Republican colleagues have been in the room,
those questions and answers. Right.
So you don't trust your Republicans on these committees?
No, I want to see the consequence of their work, right? Like, it's not, it's they put out their opening statement. We engage in cross-examination. You want to ask me about the opening, but I don't have the benefit of the cross-examination to be able to test the allegations made in the opening statement. And that is all by design. It is not an accident that you and I are here having this interview on terms that are very favorable to the Adam Schiff theory of the case, because when John Radcliffe asked questions that I think poke holes in the allegations that Taylor made, we don't get the benefit of those, because you know what? They weren't leaked and they weren't in front of the American people, and that's the problem.
I want to get to Turkey and Syria, as I have said repeatedly. So
you just got owned.
We're going to turn to that, and I will just note the Democrats, as Congressman Kildee said earlier on the show.
But I'll say one thing for Halle Berry, I guess that's her name. You got the star on your show, Matt Gaetz. He just made a pile of money for Miss NBC. Hallie Jackson. Thank you for listening.